My name is Wenny and I've been married to Zach for 3 years. During those 3 years I tried my best to be a good wife. I always put him first and did everything to make him happy. I thought that would make him care for me, even just a little. But today I finally woke up. I realized his heart was never with me. The night his older brother passed away, the funeral home felt heavy and sad. For some reason my sister-in-law, Sarah, started arguing with a relative who came to offer condolences. The relative raised a hand as if to hit her. Without a second thought, Zach jumped in and took the slap for her. He moved so fast like his body reacted before his mind. I stood there watching it all happen. My heart felt squeezed by an invisible hand. The sound of that slap stung my own face. He didn't even notice I was there. To him, Sarah's safety meant far more than mine. In that moment I knew, Zach married me only because I was obedient and easy, like a well-behaved doll that asked for nothing. My so-called love was nothing but a silly one-woman show. When we got home, Zach went straight into his study without even looking at me. I sat alone in the dark living room, tears rolling down quietly. Memories of the past 3 years flashed through my mind. All those warm moments I thought we shared? I was just fooling myself. I started wondering, what's the point of this marriage? If his heart belongs to someone else, why should I stay? I didn't sleep all night. When morning came, I made up my mind, it was time to end this. The next day, while Zach was still asleep, I quietly packed my things. Looking at the house I once thought would be my forever home, my heart ached. I left a note on the dining table with just one word, divorce. Then I walked away without looking back. I went to the civil affairs office. The clerk looked surprised. A young, pretty girl like me, so calm about getting divorced. I just smiled without a word. The process was smooth. When I got the divorce certificate, I felt a sense of relief. I moved back to my old apartment. It's small, but it's mine. It's filled with my own vibes and it makes me feel safe. I started rethinking my life. I signed up for academic conferences and focused on my medical research. I've always been dedicated to developing a breakthrough drug for cancer. Before, I used to split my energy between work and Zach. Now, with nothing holding me back, I threw myself fully into the research. Day by day, I made real progress. As for Zach, he didn't even notice I was gone. He kept busy with work, came home, lived like nothing changed. He didn't see my things were missing. He didn't see the note he'd tossed aside. It wasn't until one day that he realized I'd left. He started calling and messaging me like crazy, but I'd already changed my number. I didn't respond. He looked everywhere we'd ever been together, but he couldn't find me. Then, at a medical conference, I met Leo. He's kind of a legend in the medical world. Young and already so successful. Meeting him was like a light breaking into my dark world. After the conference, we started talking about research. We actually agreed on a lot of things. He looked at me with respect and admiration. He asked me to dinner. I hesitated but said yes. At dinner we had a great time. We talked about medicine, life, dreams, the future. Leo was funny and smart and he made me laugh. Being with him, I felt happy and free in a way I never had before. After that, we started hanging out more. He took me to art exhibits, concerts, all kinds of fun things. Little by little, being with him helped me forget the pain. I started feeling joy again. One time we went to the beach to watch the sunrise. As the sun came up, golden light spread over the ocean. It was magical. Leo turned to me, his eyes soft and serious. "Wenny," he said, "every day with you is happy. I want to stay by your side. Will you let me?" I looked into his sincere eyes. Memories of past hurt made me hesitate, but Leo's warmth also made my heart flutter. I nodded slightly. A bright smile spread across his face. He held my hand gently, and in that moment, I felt a happiness I hadn't felt in years. With Leo's support, my cancer drug research finally made a major breakthrough. After countless experiments and tests, the drug proved effective. The news shook the medical world. Media everywhere reported it. The whole world celebrated. I stood on stage accepting an award, looking out at the cheering crowd. Emotions washed over me. I used to give up so much of myself for Zach. But now, through my own hard work, I'd achieved something great. Just then Zach showed up. He stared at me standing there, successful, shining. His eyes were complicated. Shock, regret, stubbornness. He pushed through the crowd toward me. When he reached me, he suddenly knelt down on one knee. His eyes were red. "Wenny, I was wrong," he begged. "Please come back to me. The man I once thought was noble and perfect now looked broken. But I felt nothing. You weren't wrong, Zach, I said coldly. We just weren't right for each other. Then Leo walked over. He placed his hand protectively on my back. Sorry, he said firmly. She's engaged, to me. Zach looked at Leo, anger and jealousy in his eyes, but he knew it was over. He stood up slowly and walked away, defeated. Watching him leave, I felt mixed emotions, but mostly relief. Let the past be the past. I'm moving forward, with Leo. After Zach left, life seemed calm again, but seeing him had stirred something in me. That night, lying in bed, memories of my time with Zach came flooding back. I remembered when we first got married. I was so happy I thought I'd found my soulmate. I tried learning to cook for him. Even when my first dish was terrible, he just said it's okay, but I could see the disappointment in his eyes. I carefully picked out birthday gifts for him, but he'd rush off because of a call from Sarah without even looking. So many nights I waited alone in our empty house, hoping he'd come home, only to be let down. Once I was sick in the hospital. He just called briefly, said he was too busy with work and told me to take care of myself. But when Sarah sprained her ankle, he dropped everything and ran to her. All those little things I'd ignored now rushed back, reminding me how little I meant to him. Tears soaked my pillow. I told myself, this is the last time I cry for Zach. From now on, I'm building a happy life with Leo. I woke up the next morning to bright sunshine. I took a deep breath and decided to truly let go. Leo called. He wanted to go look at engagement rings. I said yes with a smile. On the way to the jewelry store, I looked out the window. My heart was full of hope for the future. After seeing Winnie with Leo at the awards ceremony, Zach's world fell apart. He started desperately remembering every moment with her. All the little things he'd taken for granted now felt painfully clear. He remembered every meal she cooked, the warm tea she brought when he was tired, the love and hope in her eyes every time she looked at him. He realized Winnie had left her mark everywhere in his life, but he'd been too blinded by his feelings for Sarah to ever truly cherish her. Zach tried to win her back. He asked everyone about her. When he heard she was going to marry Leo, he panicked. He went to see Leo. Leo, give Winnie back to me, Zach pleaded. Leo just laughed coldly. Back to you? You know how you treated her. I suffered enough with you. I won't let anyone hurt her again. Zach had no answer. He knew he didn't deserve her. But he couldn't accept it. He didn't want to lose her. Back home, Zach wandered through the empty house. He could almost see Winnie's figure moving through the rooms. Regret washed over him. Why had he been so stupid? Why hadn't he cherished such a wonderful woman? He drowned in guilt and pain, drinking every day to numb himself. But no matter what he did, Winnie had already chosen Leo. He was starting a new life. Losing her was his own fault. Leo and I poured ourselves into wedding plans. We went wedding dress shopping together. Looking at those pure white dresses, I could almost see our happy future. Leo stood beside me, his eyes full of love. This one suits you, he said softly. You look like a princess. We also visited a wedding venue, a romantic manor by the sea, surrounded by trees and flowers. Standing there with the ocean breeze lightly blowing, I felt completely at peace. Getting married here will be so dreamy, I said happily. Leo held my hand tightly. As long as you love it, this will be the start of our happiness. We invited our close friends and family, and everyone was thrilled for us. Leo's family treated me with so much kindness. Their warm welcome made me feel like I was part of a family again. While planning the wedding, I did think about Zach sometimes. But there was no anger left in my heart, only peace. What happened is in the past. I truly believe Leo and I will have a beautiful life together. As the wedding day got closer, I felt both nervous and excited. I couldn't wait for that day to come, to walk into marriage with Leo and start our new chapter. Then, the day before the wedding, I got a letter from Zach. It was delivered by a courier. Seeing his familiar handwriting on the envelope made my heart flutter. I hesitated, but I opened it. In the letter, Zach poured out his regret and his love for me. He said he finally understood. It was me he loved all along. His feelings for Sarah were just guilt, not love. He begged me for another chance, even if just as friends. After reading it, my feelings were all mixed up. The pain from before made me doubt his words, but between the lines I could also sense he was sincere. I showed the letter to Leo. He read it quietly, then stayed silent for a moment. If you have doubts, you should go see him, Leo said. I trust you. And I trust what we have. I looked at him, deeply moved. His trust and generosity made me even more certain about my choice that I decided to meet Zach one last time and make things clear. When I arrived at the place we agreed on, he was already there. He looked tired and sad, but his eyes were hopeful. Winnie, you came, he said, a flicker of light in his eyes. Zach, I came to tell you, what's past is past. I'm thankful you were part of my life, but that chapter is over. I'm happy now. I'm marrying Leo, I said firmly. The light in his eyes slowly faded. He looked down and stayed quiet for a long time. I understand, Winnie. I just had to try one last time. I wish you happiness. I hope you'll always be happy. Then he turned and walked away. This time his looked lonelier than ever. As I watched him go, I silently wished him well, hoping he'd find his own happiness someday. When I got home, I hugged Leo tightly and told him I was more sure than ever. We held each other and kissed, excited for tomorrow, the beginning of our new life together. Finally, our wedding day arrived. The morning sun shone through the window as I got up early. With the help of a makeup artist, I put on that beautiful white wedding dress. The girl in the mirror looked happy and glowing. Leo wore a sharp suit and looked incredibly handsome. He came to me with a bouquet of flowers, got down on one knee and said, Winnie, you look so beautiful today. From now on, I'll love and protect you for the rest of my life. I took the flowers, tears in my eyes, and smiled. I do. Surrounded by our loved ones, we arrived at the seaside venue. The ocean breeze was gentle, waves washed softly on the shore, and flowers were blooming everywhere. The wedding march began. Arm in arm with Leo, I walked slowly toward our future. The officiant stood before us and asked solemnly, Leo, do you take Winnie to be your wife? Will you stand by her through sickness and health, richness and poverty, for as long as you both shall live? Leo gazed at me with deep affection. I do. Then the officiant turned to me. Winnie, do you take Leo to be your husband? Will you stand by him through sickness and health, richness and poverty, for as long as you both shall live? I looked right into Leo's eyes, full of love. I do. When we exchanged rings, everyone clapped and cheered. We held each other close, making a lifelong promise in front of everyone. At the reception, we laughed, danced, and shared the joy with our family and friends. Looking at Leo beside me, my heart was full. The pain from the past was behind me. From today on, I would start a happy life with Leo. After marriage, life with Leo felt like a beautiful dream. We lived in a villa by the sea. Every morning we woke up to an amazing ocean view and fresh air. Leo was still busy with his medical career, but he always made time for me. We took walks on the beach, watched sunrises and sunsets, and shared everything with each other. Sometimes we cooked together. We weren't great at it, but we had a lot of fun. I kept working on promoting the cancer drug, hoping to help more patients. Leo supported me completely. We joined charity events together, bringing hope to people fighting cancer. One day, we received a thank you letter from a patient. He said the drug had greatly improved his condition and given him hope again. Reading that letter touched both of us deeply. We knew our work mattered. We did have small disagreements sometimes, but we always talked them through. Leo was always patient and loving. He made me feel what real love is. As time went by, our bond grew stronger. I felt grateful that after all the pain, I had met Leo. He was the light that guided my way. I believed we would always be happy, together through every season of life. But our peaceful life was quietly interrupted one afternoon. I had just returned home from the lab when I saw a familiar car parked outside. My heart sank. I had a bad feeling. Walking into the living room, I saw Zach sitting on the sofa. He still looked handsome but tired and older. Leo stood nearby, his expression serious. When Zach saw me, he stood up immediately. Winnie, I couldn't stop myself from seeing you, Zach said, his voice shaking slightly. I instinctively walked to Leo and held his arm. Zach, what we had is over. Showing up like this isn't right. Zach's eyes dimmed. He looked at me full of pain. Winnie, I know I have no right to bother you. But after you left, I realized I can't live without you. I tried to forget you, but I can't. Leo stepped slightly in front of me, shielding me. Zach, Winnie is my wife now. She's happy. You need to understand, some things can't be undone. But Zach kept going, almost like he didn't hear. Winnie, I quit my job. I left that environment that made me lose myself. I want a fresh start, and I want you with me." I felt a little moved, but more than anything I felt sure of my choice. "Zach, the past can't be changed. Leo and I love each other. We have our life. You need to move forward too and find your own happiness." Zach looked at me silent for a long time. Finally he turned around and walked away, his steps heavy. Watching him go, my heart felt mixed. Even though I'd moved on, seeing him in pain still hurt. Leo held me gently. "Don't overthink it. He'll be okay. Let's just focus on our life." I nodded, leaning into his embrace, feeling his warmth and strength. But I knew Zach's sudden appearance was like a stone thrown into calm water. The ripples wouldn't fade easily. I wondered what else lay ahead for us. After Zach's visit, Leo and I cherished our life even more and focused on our careers. But promoting the cancer drug wasn't all smooth sailing. Some people in the medical field, maybe out of jealousy or self-interest, started spreading rumors. They questioned how safe and effective our drug was. The doubts spread quickly. Many patients and hospitals became unsure and orders dropped a lot. Seeing our hard work being doubted made me anxious. But Leo held my hand and said, "Don't worry. The truth will come out. We'll get through this." We gathered lots of clinical data and recovery stories to prove how well the drug worked. Leo used his connections to ask well-known experts to re-evaluate the drug. I went to hospitals myself, talking to doctors and patients, helping them understand the truth. We faced a lot of challenges, but we never gave up. We supported each other through all of it. Finally, the experts released a fair report that confirmed our drug's excellent results. The rumors died down. Trust came back and orders started rising again. Going through that made our relationship stronger. We learned that chasing dreams will always have obstacles, but together we can overcome anything. And after all that, our drug got even more recognition, helping more cancer patients. That made us feel it was all worth it. Just when we thought things were getting better, a new threat quietly arrived. One night, I got an anonymous email. It had only one photo and one sentence. The photo showed Leo and me walking on the beach from behind. The message said, "Stay away from Leo, or else." My heart raced. I showed it to Leo immediately. His face turned serious. "Someone's watching us," he said. "And they're not friendly." We started being more careful, always alert when going out. Leo even hired bodyguards to protect me secretly. But the threats didn't stop there. A few days later, I discovered that some of my crucial research materials were missing from the lab. I was panicked. These documents were key to our next phase of research. If they fell into the wrong hands, the consequences would be unthinkable. When Leo learned what happened, he launched an investigation immediately. After some digging, we found that these incidents seemed to be connected to a mysterious pharmaceutical group. This group had been coveting our cancer drug technology and tried every means to get it. Faced with this crisis, we didn't back down. Using his intelligence and connections, Leo began a fierce battle against this shadowy organization. I supported him from behind the scenes, gathering evidence and preparing for any possible scenario that we knew this fight involved our careers, our future, even our lives. But we believed that as long as we stood together, we could overcome this threat and protect everything we held dear. As the investigation went deeper, we gradually collected criminal evidence against the pharmaceutical group. Not only had they sent people to steal my research, they had also secretly bribed media outlets and so-called experts to smear our drug, all so they could push their own counterfeit version. With evidence in hand, Leo reached out to his friends in the legal field, preparing to bring the group to justice. However, the group seemed to sense what we were up to and launched a fierce retaliation. They sent people to follow us, and even tried to kidnap us. Once, when I was driving home alone, I noticed several cars tailing me. Realizing something was wrong, I immediately called Leo. He calmed me down while quickly alerting our bodyguards for backup. With the bodyguards' help, I managed to shake off the pursuers. But we knew this was only a test. A bigger crisis was yet to come. We decided to stop playing defense and go on the offense instead. Leo and his friends set an elaborate trap to lure in the pharmaceutical group. We intentionally leaked false information, suggesting we had given up the investigation and were ready to compromise. The group took the bait. Thinking we had surrendered, they moved boldly to steal our core technology. Just when they thought everything was going smoothly, we worked with the police to catch them all in one sweep. Watching the suspects being taken away, Leo and I finally breathed a sigh of relief. The crisis was over. We had successfully protected our research and our life. Through it all, we learned that the path to justice and dreams is full of obstacles. But if we face them bravely, we can overcome anything. After resolving the crisis with the pharmaceutical group, life became peaceful again. One day, Leo and I attended a medical charity banquet. There, I unexpectedly ran into Zach, whom I hadn't seen in a long time, but he looked much better. Wearing a well-fitted suit, the confusion and pain in his eyes were gone. When he saw me and Leo, he walked over with a smile. "Wenny, Mr. Liu, it's been a while," Zach said calmly. "It's good to see you, Zach. You look well, I'm happy for you," I said sincerely. Leo nodded with a smile in greeting. We chatted briefly. Zach shared that he was now working at a charity organization, helping patients in poor areas. Hearing about his changes put me at ease. Throughout the banquet, Zach mostly kept a respectful distance. He mingled with other guests, looking confident and composed. After the event, Zach asked to speak with me alone. Leo glanced at me and I nodded to reassure him. We walked into the garden. Zach looked at me, a complex emotion flashing in his eyes. "Wenny, seeing you so happy today truly makes me glad. I've done a lot of thinking. I didn't appreciate what I had back then. Now I just hope you'll always be happy." I smiled. "Thank you, Zach. It means a lot to see you like this. I hope you find your own purpose and happiness in your new work." Zach nodded, gave me one long look, then turned and left. Watching him go, I felt a wave of emotions. The love and pain of the past had now become memories. Leo and I would continue moving forward on our own path, ready to welcome every beautiful moment ahead. Just when I thought we could finally enjoy lasting peace, a new family conflict emerged on Leo's side, shattering the calm. There was a disagreement about the direction of Leo's family business. Some relatives felt he was too focused on medical research and charity work, neglecting the business interests. They wanted him to devote more energy to the company. But Leo believed medical research and helping patients were his calling. He couldn't abandon them for profit. The two sides were at a standstill, and family meetings grew tense. Leo felt torn between his family duties and his dreams. Seeing him so worn out broke my heart. I decided to stand by him. I helped him analyze the family business and look for a solution that would honor both his ideals and the family's needs. We gathered data and case studies to show how medical research could benefit the business long term. I also used my own connections to help Leo find like-minded partners and propose new ideas for the company. Some of Leo's relatives weren't happy with my involvement. They saw me as an outsider. But I didn't back down. I believed my support mattered. Together we could resolve this. After persistent effort, we found a solution the family could accept. A project that blended medical research with the family business. By developing new medical products, we could support Leo's mission while creating new growth for the company. At a family meeting, we laid out the plan with data and market analysis. Slowly, the relatives softened and eventually agreed. With the project launched, the family tension eased. Leo looked at me gratefully. "Wenny, I couldn't have done this without you." I smiled. "We're husband and wife. We face things together. As long as you can follow your dreams, I'm happy." After this, Leo's relationship with his family improved. He grew more determined, and his family trusted him more. Life returned to a peaceful happiness. We continued our medical work, bringing hope to patients, while cherishing the quiet moments together. But the calm was once again broken, this time by a new medical challenge. A new strain of cancer began spreading in some regions. Existing treatments, including our drug, weren't effective against it. Leo and I felt a heavy responsibility. As medical researchers, we had to tackle this. We immediately began studying the new cancer variant. To gather more data, we traveled to affected areas. Seeing the patients suffering strengthened our resolve. The research was extremely difficult. The new cancer's genetic structure was complex and very different from traditional cancers. Our old methods didn't work, but we didn't give up. We worked day and night in the lab. Leo used his deep knowledge to propose new hypotheses, and I tested them through experiments. We also received support from other researchers. Together, we took on this new challenge. The road was uncertain and hard, but we believed that with persistence, we would find a way to help the patients. After countless days and nights of hard work, we finally made a major breakthrough. Leo proposed a new gene targeting approach, and through repeated experiments, We found a key genetic target in the new cancer cells. By developing a drug that focused on this target, we could effectively inhibit the cancer's growth. It was a ray of hope. We accelerated our efforts. In animal trials, the new drug showed exciting results. Cancer cells were controlled and health improved. This encouraged us, but we knew there was still a long way to go before human use. We needed rigorous clinical trials to ensure the drug was safe and effective. The pressure was immense. Clinical trials required funding and volunteers. Any misstep could undo all our progress, but we didn't retreat. Leo used his connections to raise funds, while I partnered with hospitals to recruit volunteers. Slowly the trials began. Watching the first volunteers receive treatment, we felt both hope and anxiety. But we believed, if we persevered, we would succeed. After a long and careful clinical trial, our drug for the new cancer strain was finally a success. It effectively controlled the cancer with minimal side effects, earning recognition across the medical world. When the news broke, the world celebrated. Patients suffering from the new cancer had renewed hope, and Leo and I were seen as heroes. At a celebration dinner, Leo held my hand, his eyes full of pride and love. "Winnie, none of this would have been possible without your hard work and dedication." I smiled. "We're a team. This is our achievement together." Looking back on everything we'd been through, from emotional struggles with Zach, to professional obstacles, family conflicts, and immense research challenges, we had always supported each other. Together we overcame every difficulty. Now, standing at the peak of success, we look to the future with passion for life and commitment to medicine. We know there will be more challenges, but as long as we have each other, nothing can stop us. On that beautiful night, Leo held me gently under the starlit sky. In that moment, I felt a happiness and fulfillment like never before. Our love, like our career, has grown brighter through every storm. I believe we will always be happy, moving forward together, creating miracles in medicine and bringing more hope and warmth to the world.